So we are at the space in our late summer, and our seasonal symbol is the witch, who invites us to know nature. And before we kind of dive into our class like we normally do, I just wanted to share there's always a shadow side to every seasonal symbol, to everything. Like to know one thing, you have to know its opposite. Yes. To know your inhale, you have to get to know your exhale. And to know your exhale, you have to know your inhale. So you kind of need both sides of everything. So there's a gift and a challenge to the seasonal symbol of the witch. And as we start class, I just want to share those with you so you can just kind of have them present in your breath and in your movement. So the gift of the witch is to be rooted in the knowledge of the seasons and the cycles, as well as the ability to heal the self and heal others. So we are in a yoga class right now titled Yoga for Well-Being. So this is pretty important, knowing the seasons and the cycles, knowing the right time to do something and the wrong time to do something. I used to think it was really funny that people always start like the new year with like a diet and they're going to go right into like a fruit smoothie challenge. And I'm like, where are you getting the fruit from? It's January. So you know that had to be shipped or it had to be preserved. So now you're pumping a bunch of weird stuff into your body while you're actually trying to cleanse your body of that stuff. January is the worst time to start that. So if you want to like have a New Year's resolution, you might say a year from now, I would like to feel this way. And here's some steps I can do that. Starting in June, I'm going to go on a fresh fruit smoothie kick. But starting right now in January, how can I nourish myself? How can I slather my body in lotion and sleep longer and journal more, like things like that. So knowing the seasons, knowing the cycles, knowing the right time to do something gives you the ability to heal and help others in their healing. So that's all great. But the challenge of the witch is feeling alone and lonely, or feeling this sense of persecution, right? So sometimes there's that whole connotation, all of the witch trials. People get scared by what they don't know, and maybe they're not willing to be curious. Maybe they're not willing to find things out for themselves. They just want to be told and they want to go with the flow. And anything different or full of knowledge or full of curiosity scares them. And when people are scared, they can isolate the thing that they're scared of. So maybe when you started your yoga practice or you started something new on your journey of well-being, you might have felt isolated or you might have felt judged or persecuted. And as we go into our pranayama, I just want to give you permission to feel both things, to feel powerful and independent in knowing what you know, but also recognize that at some point in time in your journey, you might have felt isolated or judged or persecuted for making the effort to be curious and to apply something new. So with all of that, come into your steady and sweet seat. Feeling the stability of your root, feeling the growth and the length of your spine, the fullness of the shoulders, and the softness of your face. Start with your 3 sides. Transition to a calming and cooling breath in through the nose, out through a small space between the lips. transitioning to your diaphragmatic breath. As you breathe in, again, slowly let the inhale travel down your body, filling your heart, your lungs, your diaphragm, your core, your pelvic floor. And as you exhale, recruit all of that space, engaging as you travel up, feeling the body contract and feel strong. And then keep that sense of strength, letting it relax and open and expand only when the inhale travels down and touches it. So as soon as the inhale touches that part of your body, let it relax and open. There's no inhale left to be had. Reverse it. Feel your body strong, coming through center, and being very stable. Full breath. Relaxed and abundant to steady and stable. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. And when you exhale, bring lotus mudra to heart center. 3 rounds of your bees breath. As you breathe in, place one of your hands over heart center and one over tummy center. Again, with your hands lovingly on your body, just take one more moment here to consider both and that sense of independence, power, and security, of knowing your rhythms, knowing yourself enough to know when you need more of this or less of that. But also giving yourself permission to know that sometimes that might feel a little, or maybe even misunderstood. And then extend your arms out to your sides with your fingers extended, but hovering above the ground instead of touching the ground. And as you breathe in, allow the thoughts, the words to come through yourself. I willingly release all negative tension. And when you exhale, kind of give a little push to that negative tension. Push it to the shoulders, down the arms, let it exit your fingers. And just go through that 2 more times. I willingly release all negative tension. Gather it up with your inhale, push it out and down with your exhale. I willingly release all negative tension. At the end of this exhale, give your fingers a little flick, get rid of those residues of negative tension. Good. Inhale and reach your arms right back up. And bring your body all the way forward on the hands and knees. So from your hands and knees, walk your hands one hand step forward. So you're coming out of balance just a little bit. And as you inhale, rock forward towards plank on the knees. And as you exhale, rock back, pushing past center and not fully releasing the child's pose, but let your tummy and your thighs touch and your arms extend. And then inhale, pull through center, pulling back. When you pull forward, make sure you pull the shoulders towards your hips so that you're very long through your spine. And as you exhale, pull back, elongating through your arms. Let's take this movement a few more times. Inhaling forward, pausing long enough in the movement to adjust the shoulders, and exhaling back. One more time through. So that as you come back this next time, fully release into your child's pose. So you might need to do a little wiggle and a little adjustment. But you're gonna relax down. You can support your head here with your hands or maybe pull a prop from your side. And if your hands are not stretched out, reach your hands out here. We'll do a little side bend. So walking your left hand to the left and then let your right hand follow. And then continue to slide your left hand down. And basically what I like to do is extend both hands away from each other. So it's kind of like your hands are running along the long side of your mat while you look over your left shoulder towards your feet. If that doesn't feel good, you can lean both hands at the top left corner, kind of push your hips back, kind of pushing against your hands. And then whichever variation you're in, walk your hands back to center. Come forward to plank on your knees. Rock back towards child's pose. And then walk your hands over to the front right corner. Kind of push against your hips, and then maybe let your right hand slide back, extend the arms away from each other. And again, if you don't like that variation, keep your hands at the top corner. And if your hand is behind you, bring it back to center. And again, pull your body forward. And then rock your body back. We're gonna take a little bit longer in child's pose this time. So optionally, you can open your knees and settle your body in between the thighs. And whenever I do this variation, I like to change my arm position. I go into more of a cactus arm position and rest one side of your face down and really feel, you might even be able to get some of your heart space or chest space down on the ground when you take a wide position with the arms and the legs. So child's pose can be a very isolated, tucked in position. And then when we start to move away from that, if we feel alone or disconnected from the space around us, we can sweep out into those C curves. We can open the pose and take up more space. We can rock front and back, simply feeling out the space around us to feel more connected, to gather in more resources, to feel the energy of the space of our mat that we're on, the space of the room that we're in. And so we're going to do that little sequence one more time. So from where you are in this more wide variation of child's pose, lift your body up, engage your core enough that you can bring your knees back to center, and then press your hips back towards your heels, extend your arms straight out. Give yourself a moment to relax down into that first variation of child's pose. Feeling very tucked in, feeling very alone with yourself, which doesn't have to feel alone, but sometimes it does. So just take that little moment here being alone with yourself. And then lifting your head, stretching your arms out. Start with pulling forward, coming into that plank on the knees, pressing back, and then walking your hands to the front left corner, pushing your hands, pushing back into your hips, and then maybe taking the pose bigger by reaching your left hand back and extending your arms away from each other. And tangles of the vine. And then bring your left hand forward, walk through center. Inhale, come forward into plank on your knees. Exhale, rock back. Walk your hands over to the front right corner, give a little push, and then maybe take your right hand back. Bringing the hand forward and back through center. Inhale, come forward into plank on your knees, and this time let's lower down onto our mats. Bend your elbows coming through chaturanga, coming all the way down onto your mat. Bring your hands in front of you. You can rest your chin on your stacked hands, or you can turn one side of your face and rest your face on your stacked hands. Then bend both knees, bringing your feet up into the air, and just start to rock your feet from left to right. The movement can start kind of small and warm itself up to taking up more space. And bring your feet to still at center. Extend the legs back down onto your mat. And then right here, you can keep your hands stacked and your chin on your hands. If you've turned your head, you're gonna wanna lift your head. But you can also bring your arms down alongside your body and kind of let your head hover above your mat. Or you can bring your hands under your shoulders and just have a little bit more ground in here. However you are supporting your upper body, we're now gonna bring our attention to our low body. So taking your left foot, kind of point through the leg and then lift the leg and lift the leg and lift the leg. And then lower it back down and switch sides. You can then relax that foot if you need to. Sometimes our feet get a little bit cranky, so when you point them, so if your foot just got a little cranky, flex your toes and put the toes on your mat, kind of push against your heel as a counter stretch, and then relax that leg down. And then switching sides to your right side, point your right toes, lift your leg, lift your leg, lift your leg. Notice if you can feel your heartbeat in your tummy. And then lower your leg down. And again, you might flex your foot, push your feet, your toes into your mat, and push out against your heel. Good. So one of the ways to get a little bit deeper into this is to take your hands and now slip them right underneath your hip bones. So you just kind of bump your bum up, slip your hands just where you can feel the bones of your hips, and then bump your pelvis back down. Roll your shoulders down your back so you feel wide. And then you're gonna lift your left foot a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And then release it back down. Switching sides, right, a little more, and a little more, and back down. Now, if you want, you can lift both feet. Lift, just kind of adjust your body. Make sure your belly button feels strong, your shoulders feel wide. Lift a little more, and maybe a little more. And lower your feet back down. Slip your hands out from under your hip bones. Place them underneath your shoulders. Press up through gentle plank. And as you rock back, open your knees, coming into your wide knee child's pose. Remember, you can bend your elbows like cactus. You can rest one side of your face down. Feel how your heart gets connected to the earth this way. And I really love this variation with the head turn because it's almost like you're listening with like one ear and your heart kind of pressed against your mat. It's like you're really trying to feel and hear anything it has to say. Bring your hands closer to your body underneath your shoulders, and from here, gently pressing up. And then bring your knees together and take your feet over to your right side so you're sitting down on the left hip. Right into our familiar Bharadvajasana twist, nice and long through your spine, twisting away from your feet. Remember to roll your shoulders down and back, lift your gaze up and over. Release your head and your gaze to the front. Swim your fin to the second side. Again, nice and lifted, twisting away from your feet. And releasing the center. Bring your feet out in front of you. Bring your hands behind you. Roll the shoulders, bloom the heart. And relax your shoulders and dump the backs of your legs down. Like you're pitching a fit. Come right into Dandasana. Long legs, long spine. Inhale, reaching your arms up. And as you exhale, reach your heart for your toes. You're going to get to a space where there's nothing else happening. You're just kind of hanging out. When that happens, bring your hands down. And just take a breath right here in Paschimottanasana. Lift your spine back up. And as you do that, bring your left knee with you. Your left foot can stay on the inside of your right leg or it can cross over to the other side, whichever you prefer. And we'll twist into the thigh. So inhale nice and long. Exhale using your hand and or elbow to really dive into the leg and rotate around. Place your hand behind you, fingertips steeple to get just a little more torque in your rotation. And then as you come back through to center, open your knee. So if you placed it over here, bring it back to the inside. Let your knee open down. Do a little hip walk so you feel nice and stable. And as you inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, let the heart reach for the toes. Bring your hands down. Pause here in Janu Shirshasana. Be in it, long leg, long spine. Rising up, take your leg that's out in front of you, your right leg, and sweep it more open out to the side. You can tuck your left foot in a little bit more. And again, inhale, reach your arms open. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward. You're gonna feel that nice long pull. Bring your hands down. And right here, you can use your hands to kind of pull further into the stretch and then press away from the stretch. Pull a little more. Press away. Pull. And press away. Walk your hands back towards your body. Bring your hand over to your extended leg. Reach your opposite arm up and take a side bend. You can use your hand to kind of press against the top of your ankle, and that's going to give you a little bit of resistance and strength to kind of, just like we do when we do our side bends, almost push through the bottom ribs to the top ribs, so you feel the top ribs pressing up as you reach over. And if this knee is coming up, coax it back down. Use some kind words. And then rise up. Bring both legs out in front of you. Thump the backs of your legs down. Catch a good fit here. Legs long, spine long. Inhale, reach your arms up. As you exhale, let the heart reach for the toes. Bring your hands down. Pause in Paschimottanasana for another breath. As you rise up, bring your right knee with you. Again, it can stay on the inside of the leg or switch to the outside of the leg. Nice and full, using your hand or your elbow to really twist into your thigh. Right hand comes behind you to help you get a little deeper into your rotation. And releasing back to center. If you put your foot over here, bring it back over here and open it up. Coming into seated tree, basically, Janu Shirshasana, adjusting your hips. Foot is nice and flexed. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, let your heart reach for your toes. Again, when there's nothing, no more stretch happening, hands come down and just pause. Let your breath be your movement, your breath be your focus. then gently rising up and opening the left leg to the left and making those little micro adjustments. Start with the straight forward, inhaling up. Exhale, you're hinging. Again, when you're worried, you're just going to come right down onto your tummy. Put your hands down, plant your palms, and use your hands to help you go deeper and then back away. Go deeper and back away. And deeper. Back away. Take that one more time. Back away. Climb back up. Placing your left hand on your left leg. Feel nice and long in your spine. Inhale, reaching up, and then take that side bend. Again, you can slide your hand down, kind of anchor it somewhere along the shin bone or the top of the ankle. And once your arm is a helpful like support, you can feel the push from the bottom ribs up through the top ribs, extending towards the sky, which then can help you feel a little more strong and dynamic in this side stretch. And rising up. Ooh, bringing the legs back to center, straight out in front of you. Thump the backs of your legs down. Let's come through forward, rolling over your feet to your hands and your knees again. Come right into cat-cow. Take a few rounds here. And we'll work our way to downward facing dog. Your hands forward, tucking your toes. So when we did, when I was representing the Mellow Monkey in the park with all of the kids yesterday, we did a Yogi Says game, kind of like Simon Says, but Yogi Says. Super fun. They had to sit down every time they got something wrong, and then I'd let them rejoin a few rounds later. But then we ended with, just for fun, playing with headstand. Oh man. I forgot how fun it is to have a dynamic group of kids and just their playfulness or their goofiness or sometimes their fear, and how it just runs the whole gamut. How some will absolutely not try either because they're embarrassed or they're afraid. Some will try and just become gymnasts immediately, and some will really nail it and feel incredibly proud of themselves. But I'm hoping it'll spark enough interest that we can get a yoga group going here again with the kids. They definitely go in phases. Take one more alternating step here in down dog. And set your gaze into your hands. No headstands here today. Bend your knees instead. Walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, chair. Inhale, rising all the way up. And releasing, coming right into monkey drum. Good. Slowing your momentum down, bringing it right into Brahma Dandasana for 4 rounds. Wide feet, open toes, neutral pelvis, lifted knees and quadriceps. Inhale, reach up. And as you exhale, bend your knees, bringing your hands to heart center. Still, everything is nice and straight from tailbone to crown. So you can lift your toes, engage the arms a little more. And next time you inhale, lengthen up. As you exhale, hinge, bringing the spine to or towards parallel to the floor. Bend your elbows, pull back like you do in cobra. And as you exhale, sunflowering down. Gazing straight ahead as you rise up. And coming right back down into sun god. Giving yourself a moment here to feel strong, capable, maybe engaging the arms and the shoulders and the chest a little more. And then rising up. And hinging. Bend and pull. And release. All the way up. And down. Take 2 more rounds through at your own pace. And when you come all the way back up to the top, releasing your hands down and stepping your feet aside. So we're going to move into a little bit of that standing figure 4 pose, which can be a little challenging for your balance. So you want to make sure that you feel good and stable here. And you want to give yourself permission to step out or away from the pose and kind of just reassess with your breath and the engagement of your core, and then come right back into it. So like I said, just take your time, a little sense of humor, really stay stable through your body here. So as you inhale, sweep your arms up. And as you exhale, bend your knees. Right here, make sure you can lift your toes and then fan them back down so that your toes are fully extended out. Bring your hands down to your hips. Fullness of your feet. You're going to shift your weight to your right foot. Lift your left foot up. Make sure everything's good. You might have to take a little extra ice cream scoop out of your low belly. And then place this ankle over this knee. And then you're going to sit down lower as you kind of press the knee down. You can bring your shoulders a little more forward. If you're doing good with your balance, you can put a little more pressure from your hands. Just to get a little bit deeper stretch back here. And then if you're feeling really playful and confident today, you can actually grab your foot and your knee and come into standing cradle. So grab wherever you are, if you're still in figure 4 or if you're in cradle. And then gently release the leg, bringing it down to standing. You're just going to take your little monkey drum in between sides. We usually have one side that we feel a little freer or stronger on. So just kind of pay attention to that. Like if this was a good side for you, pay attention to what's going on the second side and vice versa. Don't let one side restrict or dictate how the other side is going to experience the movement. Coming back to center. Inhale, reaching your arms up. And as you exhale, coming down into chair, bringing your hands to your hips, and again, find your feet. Find your core as well. Shift your weight to the left. Place your right ankle over the knee. And then as you sit back in the chair, your shoulders can come forward. That might help kind of balance you out a little bit. And then you can place your hands and apply as little or as much pressure as feels good to you. Feeling like you want to go a little bit bigger in this, you can grab the foot and the knee and rise up. And then wherever you are, let this pose go. Come back to equal feet, step wide, and lift your feet out. kind of similar how maybe sometimes we feel alone or lonely or judged. We can't let that dictate or determine how far we're willing to go for ourselves in our journey of well-being. Acknowledging again, there might be some hurdles in your path. You have the energy, power, tapas to get through that. Slow your momentum down, coming back to center. And again, inhale, reaching your arms up. And when you exhale, again, bringing your hands to your hips. Moving into our tree pose, shifting your weight again to your right foot. Make sure it's full. Feet, toes are extended. You can feel the edges. You can feel your heel. You're going to bend the left knee. And like I usually like to do this variation, step right on top of your foot. Right here, you can tuck your tail just a little bit, engage the low core a little more, and then drag your toes up. Drag your toes down, and then rotate your knee forward. You might choose to place the toes on the ground, having a bigger root ball, or you might keep the heel right below the knee. Regardless, leg pushes into foot, foot pushes into leg. Release your arms down, and slowly begin to grow your limbs. Try to let the tops of the shoulders feel like they're pressing down the entire time, no matter where your arms are. And at some point when you get to the top, we'll take that mudra of letting go. So you'll interlace your hands when they get to the top, releasing your first finger. And just like that breath, I willingly release all negative tension. This is really similar. You're willing to find something that is taking up more space in an unhealthy way. You're willing to see it, find it, release it, and pour it out. So as you bring your hands down, going past your thoughts, going through your emotions, picking up any debris that you can now tip your fingers over, pour out, and let go. And open your hands and again flick. And step your feet out, monkey jump. And come back to equal standing. Inhale, reaching your arms up. And exhale, releasing your hands to your hips as you shift your weight to your left foot, coming up onto your right toes. Again, sometimes this makes you lock your knee on one side, so I get a little bit bendy and squishy, and when I step over, I re-lengthen up by kind of lifting the torso, tucking the tail, and then that helps prevent the locking of the knee a little bit. Drag your foot up, drag your foot down, and open your knee. Decide where your foot is. You push your leg into your foot and your foot into your leg. And release your arms. Take your time growing your limbs. When you get to the top, eventually you'll interlace your hands, releasing the index fingers. Again, give yourself permission to find any negative debris that you're willing to let go of and pour out. Bending your elbows, hands pass through the thoughts, hands pass through the emotions. Turn your fingertips down, letting go, and releasing your hands and flick. Step out and monkey jump. Step back to center, inhaling up. With bent knees, exhaling, coming down to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands. Step back again into downward facing dog. Just like we've been doing pretty much all summer, we're gonna come right into our pigeon pose. So if you like coming in from downward facing dog, stay with me. But if you know you prefer coming through your knees, you can bring your knees down now and take your right knee forward first. Otherwise, if you're with me in downward facing dog, extend your right leg up, bend your right knee, roll your hips open to the right, one big stretch here, and then squaring up, sliding your right knee forward, opening your right shin to your angle, sliding your left leg back, bottom of the thigh comes down, top of the foot comes down. Open it up first, nice and wide, happy and big, and then bring it down. Rock for as long or as little as you'd like. When you notice that your body is ready and able to take up more space, make sure that you're paying attention to that. If you're just kind of rocking and waiting and hanging out, you might miss those little cues that the elbows might want to go wider and the shoulders can have more space and the harder the head gets closer to your mat. Take a couple more really big breaths so big that they fill up your hips. Then gently lifting your head, walking your hands back towards your shoulders. Before you bring your leg in, you might bend your knee and bring the heel closer to your body. You could also roll your shoulders back. Kind of lift up. Variation here. Then you'll relax. You can scooch your knee in a little bit, round your back. Bring your knees back, tuck your toes. If you're coming from downward facing dog, you'll lift. If you're coming from tabletop, do a couple rounds of cat-cow. If you came up into downward facing dog, put your left leg up, bend your left knee and roll over towards the left. Square back up. And if you're doing cat-cow, neutralize your spine. Let's all bring the knee forward, opening your shin, sliding your toes back, bringing the bottom of the thigh down, top of the foot down. Walk your hands closer to your body, shoulders back, bloom up. And walk your hands forward, coming down onto your elbows. A bit of that rocking, listening to your body, paying attention to the cues of being able to take up more space, of whether it wants you to rock more or less. And at some point, you might find yourself resting still. And when that happens, deepen your breath so much that you can feel it in your hips and in your glutes, really filling it up, almost giving it a lightness or a helium kind of sensation with the fullness of your breath. Eventually lifting your head, walking your hands back towards your body. Again, you might get here nice and tall, and then maybe you're gonna bend your back knee, bringing the foot a little closer to your body. And as you do that, you might move up a bit more. And then relax. Pull your back leg in a little bit, round your back, pull back to tabletop. Just give yourself a couple of rounds of cat-cow. And then we'll end with a seated twist here. So coming on to your thumbs, back to Sukhasana. And we'll take that little twist where we move our head a little bit, keeping the shoulders down. So feel the stability of your pelvis and the length of your spine and the width of your shoulders. Breathe in. And as you exhale, right hand to left, meaning left hand behind you. Roll the shoulders down and back again. Look up and over your back shoulder. Fingertips are your guides and your supports. Knees are traveling down. And when you exhale the next time, turn just your head to look over your front shoulder. Shoulders press down a little more. Relax your jaw a little more. And then as you're exhaling, rotate your head, letting the ear hover more over the shoulder. You might open your mouth here. Shoulder, taking a breath in. And as you exhale, really get into your twist, rotating around, using your arms for a little bit of leverage. And release to center. Send your hands behind you, your legs in front of you. Thump them down. Twisting to the second side. Back in. Nice and long. And twisting. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Shoulders down, spine long. Gaze up and over. Breathe in. As you exhale, turn your head, shoulders down, jaw relaxed. As you exhale, rotate your head. As you exhale, look over your front shoulder. Full inhale. And exhale, looking over your back shoulder again. Using your arms for a little more leverage. And back to center one last time, sending those legs out. So at this point, choosing if you're going to finish your time on your mat in Sukhasana, in a seated meditative pose, or if you're going to come down to your back and rest in Shavasana. So just giving yourself a moment to set up in either pose. And as we rest in either of these two positions, feeling your breath but no longer controlling it, feeling where your body is connected to the floor, it's really surrendering that part of your body into the mat. So our seasonal symbol of the witch invites us to know nature. Both feared and revered, made to seem silly and scary and sacred. The witch is a chameleon-like archetype. The word witch itself is a gatekeeper. For those who want to walk this path, learning the ways of the wild wisdom of the world, must dare to have themselves labeled as such. Many turn back, scared of the judgment and derision that has, at various times in history, met women who pursue a path of knowledge. At its core, the witch is a wise woman archetype. She is a seeker of knowledge, deeply exploring the natural world. The witch is elemental. She is engaged with the world around her. She knows the turnings of the moon and the risings of the tide. She knows which plants poison and which plants heal, and thus can both give life and take away. She knows which crystals store memory and which deflect harm. She has watched the ways of wolves and ravens, owls and snakes, and understands how human nature mirrors animal nature. The witch lives on the fringes, mediating between the wild and the civilized. She's not wholly tamed, and so she scares those who bow to social norms instead of natural laws. Like most of nature's creatures, the witch is neither good nor evil. Her nature is to know the natural world, not just with her mind, but with her whole being, and to explore the possibilities that come without knowing. Everything in there, you could probably replace the word for witch, the word yogi, knowing that when we started on this journey, people were skeptical. You might have even been skeptical. At stages along your growth throughout this practice of well-being, there might have been things that scared you a little bit, and you thought, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Things about yourself and the world around you that shed light on a lot of things and granted you a more full perspective. As you rest here for another moment, and just absorbing the both and of any decision you make, to understand the goodness of something, we need to understand the shadow of something, ourselves included. Spending more full, quiet breaths, you can embrace that shadow within you, embrace that sunshine within you, and understand how we balance each other out, harmonize a little bit within you. To wiggle and stretch and move until eventually you are back up in Sukhasana. We'll end with just a few rounds of Om Namah Shivaya. I honor the self within. So my hands are not mirroring you at this point. Your left hand will stay on your left knee. Join your first finger and your thumb. And your right hand will come to your heart center, also joining your first finger and your thumb. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shivaya. Om Namah 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 Shivaya. Inhale and reach your arms up. Exhale, wrap yourself up in a loving embrace. Inhale and reach your arms up. And exhale through the heart center. Inner light in me sees and honors the light. Namaste.